and all of a sudden Stroud might be available at 3, and then there are these reports that the Titans, have talked to Arizona about moving up and all of that. I guess I should ask you this. What do you make of CJ Stroud and his tape and his move to the league before we kind of get into everything else?
No, I think C.J. Stroud's got everything it takes. Now how quickly will he be successful will be determined exactly as to the environment that he goes into. But I think he's got everything it takes to be successful. He's not as smooth as operator as Young is. Young's a smooth operator. Let's just take size out of it. Just operating an offense, Young is extremely smooth. C.J. Stroud, though, has got everything that it takes to do that and has done it on the big stage, in various capacities. And when you break him down and start really looking at him and digging into him, I mean, he's got pretty good ball placement, on most all of the throws that he makes. And I think he's got the athletic ability to use his legs more than he did. And even when he was asked to do it, he could do it. So I think C.J. Stroud, is to me is the next guy in this quarterback group. This quarterback group is really, it's what flavor do you like, and one flavor doesn't fit everybody's palate. And so that's where this is. Now, I didn't hear what Adam Schefter says. I mean, with all due respect, I don't listen, to what those guys are saying, because it really doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. Until Schefter is going to lose his job if he's wrong, I'm not going to listen to him. So.
No, so what he said was everybody. So Mel Kiper's got 4 quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, 4, and he said for those that think quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3, 4, that's not happening. And so he went in on how the Texans aren't going quarterback at 2, Cardinals aren't going quarterback at 3, so the Colts can sit there and take the second guy. Is kind of what he was saying.
Well, I mean, that may happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure he really knows, because I don't know why anybody, I did this for 31 years in a draft room, up to the draft, did a lot of press up to the draft in all different capacities that I was in, and I never once told somebody exactly what we were going to do.
Because you never know.
This far out from the draft especially, right?
Well, yeah, and whatever the people do in front of you affects.
There you go. As I said, Don, I said this about a month ago when we were talking about this. You have been on the field more than some of these people that are putting these things out. You should do a mock draft.
Did say that, Coach Mack.
No.
No.
So there's all this talk about CJ Stroud in the S2, which it seems to be the new Wonderlic. I kind of dug and found out that it's.
This.
Yeah, huh?
I like that S2.
You do? You like this S2? So I guess apparently it started back in 2018 and is kind of starting to spread across the league. So tell me more what you know about it, more about it, and I know the Titans this year are in on the S2, so they're able to see that. Yeah.
It's more cognitive. It's here in Nashville. I want to go down there. I want to go down there and do it. I would love to do that.
I think we're going to. I think Slay's got it set up to. We're going to.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Coach Mack, you always pull the strings.
He's got some partners.
I'm gonna make this one happen for you. Don't you worry.
We're going to go take it. You going to take it too?
Then I will do that. Yes, I want to go see it. I want to go and I want to go see that. When I was, we had people bring a lot of things through, especially when we went out to L.A. A lot of this, the virtual stuff, but this to me is, and just talking to people now, you've got to subscribe to it to get it. That's why they don't, the results aren't just immediately thrown out there to everybody, because you got to pay to be in it. But talking to some of the other people in the league that are in it, I know Jeff Ireland. Jeff Ireland is down there at New Orleans. He's the Saints are in it. I know Jeff pretty well. He was my ball boy at the Bears. So how far back does that go?
Wow.
So anyway, to me, I'm always interested in these types of things, and the data that they've put out as far as the people that have scored, high within however they do their percentages, pretty much translates to some success, at least, playing behind center in the National Football League. I'm very, very, very interested in it. because to me this is much more focused on, and it seems to be much more relevant, than one of the worst things that was ever going on was that Wonderlic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that made no sense. I mean, I took the Wonderlic twice and scored really good on it, so it can't be a real hard test. The thing about it is, though, this to me is kind of getting into what you have to do, to be able to. I mean, you're talking about the brain with this thing. You're not talking about anything else. You're talking about the brain, and especially at the quarterback position, to be able to process, diagnose, and then recall. All of that stuff has to happen very quickly. I'm fascinated by this thing.
And, Coach Mack, that's what I was going to say. That's the difference in this test and the Wonderlic, and you looking at this one. This is closer to football reaction, seeing what you would do in this position. This is kind of like being able to put a guy virtually on the field without putting him on the field, right?
Well, but I think what it does too is it's got that's why I want to see the program. It has recall on it. You have to be able to identify, recall, and make quick decisions. So, I mean, did you guys ever take the Wonderlic? Did you guys ever take the Wonderlic?
I took it.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you see, I mean, to me, it relates nothing to football.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah.
a personality test.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's not personality.
Or
It's
zero.
just,
intelligence.
yeah.
IQ.
Well, I mean,
Sort of.
and really, I mean, you've got to be able to read fast.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to read fast, and then if you don't know a question, go on to the
Comprehend
next one.
fast.
You got to know.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to know how to take it. It's 12 minutes, and to me, that to me used to be one of the most inconsequential things ever. And the problem is it was supposed to be something that was not delivered, but every year it leaked out of the combine, and it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fair to the players either.
Totally agree.
And that's why I took it, to see what it was. Had nothing to do with playing football, and it really had nothing to do whether you could process football or not. So, I mean, I'm all in on this S2 just because I think, from what I've heard from people that have, that are involved with it, and it being here in Nashville, I'm glad you guys got that thing set up. I may fall in on that.
We make you go, Coach Mack. This ain't.
Yeah. We'll take a field trip.
Yeah, don't you worry.
We'll pile in the Sleigh-mobile.
Group trip.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Coach Mack, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Guys, enjoy the Big Orange over there. I know you will.
You better know it, Coach. Go ahead. I ain't
Go
gonna
ahead.
crank you. Coach Mack.
Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Has your thoughts changed on anybody so far in the draft, or are you just still scaving the surface of everything and jotting it down? Have you changed from week 1 to this week as far as doing your research on anybody?
Little tweaks, yes. A lot of research, little tweaks. That's why when we put this thing together, when I started this with Rhett 6 years ago, teach him how to progressively put it together. That's how you do in draft rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You start back in the spring, you progressively put this thing together. This last vertical horizontal board we put together, it's pretty interesting, but not anything drastic, because here's the other thing. Draft boards are different all over the country. You guys know that, right? And so on draft day, when somebody picks somebody and somebody acts surprised, you're acting surprised because that's not where you had them, but the other team that took them, that's where they had them.
Yeah.
That's really all that matters.
Okay.
Coach Mack, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Coach, thank you. We'll talk with you next week, and we'll be right up on the draft.
Right up on it. See you guys.
All right,
bro.
there he is. 3HL presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, SpringHillAC.com, Big Orange Caravan. We're going to have Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, Kelly Harper all in the show in the 5 o'clock hour. When we come back, Stevie Hamer is going to jump in the mix, basketball legend at Tennessee. That's next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it is my privilege to be sitting here with Olivia. She is going through this battle right now at 10 years old. I know it has not been easy for you. You've been going through treatments and continue to. Why is it so very important for people to donate?
So we can get easier treatment options, and it will help the research of leukemia and lymphoma.
Yeah, and this is such a strong young lady, and every little bit will help. Like she said, the Dare to Dream campaign for safer treatments. This is not a disease that discriminates. It hits all ages. We've seen athletes that are dealing with that right now as we speak. But Olivia right here, she's going to win this battle, and we are here to help. So you can easily donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV. You can just also go to 1045thezone.com.
as we speak. The coaches, Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, Kelly Harper, will all be here. They'll arrive somewhere around 5 o'clock, and they'll all hop on the show with us. That's coming up. 3HL presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, springhillac.com. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. And we're going to talk about Vol basketball right now. Steve Hamer joins us now, Vol legend. What's
I don't know
going
about
on,
that,
man.
You just stop with the Stevie Hamer.
Listen, I was there. I watched you play, bro.
We're all sitting next to the legend, Ron. Now,
No,
you stop
man.
right here
Well,
at
I
this
would-
part of the table.
I
No
would like
deflecting, Hamer.
I would like to see you two in your prime, like, run together. That would have been.
That's a problem.
Man,
4 and
hey,
5.
man.
4 and 5
Four
right
and the
there.
5?
Yeah,
4 and the
buddy.
5.
It's
Wow,
on.
wow.
It's on.
Now, Ron could play multiple positions, man. I was a back-to-the-basket guy only.
Yes, you were. And you turn on people and shoot it right over the top of them. And dunk on them with that drop step. Steve Hamer, at Stevie_Hamer on Twitter. Give him a follow there, and he'll be able to help you with any of your University of Tennessee ticketing needs as well. Basketball got a big dose of news yesterday or today, actually.
Yeah.
Santi Vescovi coming back. How big is that for them?
Yeah, that's huge because that solidifies shooting, scoring, and leadership. You got to have all three of those if you want to make sure that you are contending not only in the SEC but nationally as well. Santi brings that leadership. He brings the toughness. He's been in the battles, Ron, right? He's been through those rigors. He's been through the wars. So when you bring him back, I mean, you've got a 2-time All-SEC selection that's a dependable scorer. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not holes on that team because there's some holes that we have got to solidify for us to be contenders.
Absolutely. And you also got the front court. You got guys being able to grow up. I was able to get up there for the orange and white game, seeing guys in the gym already getting work in. We got to see Tobe out there getting a little work in. It's going to be interesting to see the next step. How important is that next step coming out of a year of expectations, coming off a Sweet 16 run, and those guys being able to take that next step? Meshack, Tobe, Freddie getting in, interjecting himself into this team.
Yeah, Jonas Seydoux.
Yeah,
you know,
do.
When you got those guys, shot blocker, you know, Tobe, just he's got that girth, man. He's got the strength, grown man strength
Every
right
bit
now.
of it.
Hands. So, you know, it's ironic because I was talking to one of the associate head coaches, Coach Justin Gainey, the other day, and he said, Steve, the next year's team has already started.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the next 2023 iteration, they're already going at it.
Right.
So that tells me that Coach Barnes thinks that they've got something pretty special again coming back. If we can get Tobe to grow up a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
A little tougher, a little stronger, understand concepts, especially defensively, so that he doesn't have to be taken out in critical situations,
That's right.
You got Jonas Seydoux coming back. If he can get a little bit more muscle, get a little stronger.
Boy, he developed that mid-range jumper, too.
Yes,
which
shot
is key.
blocking ability. So if we can get that front court, couple that with good guard play. Now, don't sleep on Freddie DeLeon. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him. You got Zakai coming back. Zakai was in the workout facility the other day getting shots up.
That's beautiful.
Now, how crazy is that?
That's beautiful.
I mean, he tore his ACL in February, and he's already getting shots up. So if we can get that team to gel together, we could have something special again.
I always give props to Chad Newman, the trainer. Was able to run across him and Zakai after they were finishing their workout. And I told Zakai, man, like, the pressure's on you. I came back in 5.5 months from my ACL, so I don't know what you going to do. You know what I mean? I already set the bar to a certain extent. Came back SEC Player of the Year, so you got your hands full, Zakai. It's on you. You got to carry it. But he seemed to be in good spirits, man, and it's good to – what do you notice about that culture and how it's growing? Like, a lot of people always say that this is our culture, it's this our footprint, it's our foundation. They really mean it up there, though.
They mean it, Ron. It's a different team. You know, when you look around the country, obviously you look at the Dukes, you look at the Blue Bloods, the Kansas, Kentucky's, Dukes, and the list goes on and on. But Tennessee is, believe it or not, on the precipice of building that type of culture. Right. Because you're now getting kids like the J.P. Estrella kid that's coming in that chose us over Duke, chose us over Kansas because of our culture, because of the things that Coach Barnes has got in place. And if we can turn the corner, now again, you have these people that will say, here we go again. You know, they've won ho-hum. We won 25 games this year. Well, let this sink in, Ron. We've won 25 games 7 times in the history of Tennessee basketball.
I was trumpeting that.
Yeah.
Because all
7
these Tennessee
times.
basketball fans, I'm like, do y'all understand what this team has done?
Yep.
I looked up that number, too.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. In 114 years of
In
basketball.
114 years of basketball, and you're complaining about winning 25 games.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the teams.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Think of the teams that we beat this year.
Right.
Now, I'm claiming Gonzaga.
Right.
I know
No,
that it wasn't a real
without
game.
question.
I'm claiming Gonzaga. Texas. You beat Kansas on the neutral court. You demolished Duke.
That's right.
I mean, those are huge wins. Now, did we have some setbacks? Of course we did.
Yeah.
But when you lose your point guard going down the stretch, I mean, that hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of what we've done. We've got great recruits coming in for this year, and I think the sky's the limit. I really do.
Big Orange Caravan happening is coming off the heels of the orange and white game. Me getting back up there, I've never seen the energy like that. I've never seen a collection of VFLs in one place like that from past to present. ADs, I was able to run into Don DeVoe, Coach Doug Dickey. Like that was amazing, man, to get there and shake their hand, because those are the people like that helped sculpt, what I went through right there. And it came off the heels of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So what is that like how does that spill over to the Big Orange Caravan? You guys coming from Memphis?
You know what? It's a lot of fandom right now. It's in my opinion, this is one of the best eras in Tennessee athletics history.
Yeah.
When you look back over the years, basketball has been good or football has been bad.
Right.
Baseball's been decent. Softball's been okay.
Yeah.
But look across campus, the tapestry of campus right now. Softball, number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
Baseball, they're taking some lumps, right? Taking some lumps.
Right.
But you know what? They manhandled everyone last year, right?
Yes.
So then you have football, ended up number 6. Basketball, top 20. Lady Vols went to Sweet 16. So there has never been a time like it is right now for Tennessee athletics. And for us, listening to Ramon said we had 64, 68, 72,000.
Yeah.
At the game the other day, and now we're coming to Nashville.
Yeah.
We're in Memphis last night, man. It's like we're a traveling rock band. Man. We're all over the place right now.
He told me it was 87,000.
It keeps going up. It's savage going up.
You right before we go, we're running late as we typically do. Nobody cares except for one guy in our building. But you mentioned Freddie DeLone. What do they have in him? Do you think?
I will not tell you which coach intimated this to me, but he told me the day that Freddie got on campus that Freddie could start on last year's team. He could have started on last year's team.
Tells me all I need to know.
That's all you need to know.
A lot.
That's all you need to know.
I was just writing down the roster as you were talking about. So Zakai Ziegler, Santee, Jamal Meshack, Adu, Tobe, then J.P. Estrella, as you said, coming in 6'11", 210 center. Cameron Carr, also a 4-star shooting guard, and then Freddie DeLone. So there's 8 right there.
There's 8 right there.
And you still might have some roster shakeup as well. Phillips may come back. I don't know.
You might. I certainly hope that Julian Phillips comes back. He could benefit from another year, especially in Rick Barnes' system, to grow, to learn, to mature, to understand the game.
Dog in him.
Right. Find the dog in him.
That's really all that was missing to me.
You find the dog in him, man. You got to get that confidence back. I'm sitting next to a guy that had nothing but dog.
Oh, thanks,
in him.
man.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry.
We got War Damn Eagle down there. I told her they got a point guard coming in, Aiden Holloway, but he's really good. But I can't wait to see him and DeLone and how they match up. Going forward. With Auburn and Tennessee.
Steve Hamer at Stevie_Hamer. Hook in with him. Big Orange Caravan. That's where we are. We'll be right back. 3HL on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I have a special friend with me now, Olivia. You are battling this as we speak, and I know that treatments, they're not easy, right? And Dare to Dream, that's a campaign that is pushing for safer treatments for younger people just like you. How old are you? 10 years old, and it's not easy going through this. Can you talk about what it's been like?
It's been just really hard with all the needles, treatment, medicine, all that.
Yeah, and this is something that you are going to win. You're going to win this battle, but we need all the help we can get to get the education out there. Our Dare to Dream campaign for, again, safer use in some of the things that are being done with the treatment. So Olivia, we always appreciate your time and we are proud of you. You are going to continue this fight and you can always donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV, or you can just visit the Zone's website at 1045thezone.com.
Welcome in 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Happy, what day is it?
There it is.
What day is it? There you are, Mayor. I'm going to have to just take over.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. So let's paint the picture. We're in the West Side Club level.
West Side.
And so the skyline is right behind us.
Which means
the ladies just finished a big balloon, Big Orange montage thing that looks really cool, and it's got the skyline.
And it's got the Vols in big block letters at the bottom.
Yes. And then the cheerleaders are arriving, and it's a combo of Tennessee cheerleaders / Woo Girls.
They got the Woo Girl. They got the Woo Girl hats on.
They're laughing at us.
Nashville is here, baby.
Maybe they don't know Nashville well enough to know how to take that, but it was a compliment.
Yeah, most definitely was
trying to be funny also at the same time. At 3HL1045 on Twitter. To the right of me, I've got Dawn Davenport.
Hi. Here we go. Happy Wednesday, man. This is I love this event. I hated when COVID shut it down and we didn't get to spend time with Vols fans and coaches and all that. We're going to have all three football, basketball, men's basketball, and lady basketball
Yep, Josh Heupel
coaches
at Coach
today.
Josh Heupel on Twitter. Rick Barnes at Rick Barnes UT, and Kelly Harper at Kelly Harper.
All of
IE, all on the show in the 5 o'clock hour, and we're going to do that today. Todd Furman at 4:30, Bet the Board podcast. We'll talk sports betting with him. Titan sign a wide receiver. We'll tell you about that in just a second. But first, Ron Slay is to the left of me.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
I'm in the building.
Right.
Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in the
Live
building. I'm in
and
the
direct,
building.
baby.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Slay Dog, you're in your element.
I am. I most definitely am. I'm in a sports place.
Okay.
with balls all around.
Jason
This
Whitlock
is-
just shook you this morning.
I'm shaking back. trying to shake back slowly but surely. I'm getting there, man.
This is definitely your jam.
No, it is, man.
Both of y'all,
love it.
both
Yeah.
of you VFLs
I
to
can't-
my left.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've been doing radio for 27 years. I've probably done like 25 of these things.
Have you?
Oh, it's
Like,
Yeah,
this
but-
was my first introduction to Vols, like Vol Nation coming to an
you told the story yesterday. You went when you were in high school, which I don't know
yeah.
that it's very legal, but but you did it.
I think it is.
No, it's if you pay yourself to come, you're totally.
And
it's
it,
totally
okay.
and it was outside. It was at a golf course because we were just standing there.
yeah.
Out at Hermitage.
Boom. You know, see?
I told you.
I know
did say
he was
that.
probably
It was
there.
You and Big John.
That's
and
right.
Coach
Buck,
Coach
Coach
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday, sitting in the back of that tent.
Do you remember the Vols Caravan, the very first one for head coach Jeremy Pruitt?
Yes, so that one had a different. It was here,
It
actually.
was
Was it?
here. Yep.
That one had
I
a
will
different
never
vibe to it.
forget it.
So here's the uncomfortable thing about what happened there. So what we had heard was like Pruitt's just like a football guy, like
Right.
you know, he doesn't have
He
like
wants
this
to talk ball. He doesn't
real
want to.
outgoing personality.
BS.
Yeah, he's not like trying to sell you anything
No.
necessarily. So we had heard that. So we went to break right as he sat down.
Mm-hmm.
So we sit down with him, and so we have like, I don't know, that break was long that day.
Like 7
Yeah,
minutes.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Yeah, it was-
7 minutes to just chat with Jeremy Pruitt
So here-
before you go on air.
Here's me. Hey, Coach, how much you enjoy these events? I don't know. I'm like,
This is
So at
exactly
that-
how he
at that point, I'm thinking, how are we going to get through this interview?
Yeah.
So then I said, well, you know, maybe you'll have a bunch of recruits, you know, parents and grandmas and stuff, like sitting in, and I pointed at the chairs that were off to the side. So he looked at me, and then he looked over at the empty chairs because they hadn't opened the doors yet. And then he looked back at me, and he's like, I doubt it.
I'm serious.
What?
I just sat there and
The
was
head
like,
coach.
oh, dear Lord.
And so we did the interview, and he was nice enough. It's just not his thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the interview was fine.
Interview
because
was fine.
You get to talking ball. You get to
Yeah.
talking players and
Yeah.
X's and
It's
O's,
cool,
whatever.
yeah.
He's great with that.
Yeah.
And I will say the next year it was at a different venue. It was like at Marathon Music Works or something like that. Anyway, it was at a different venue. And he was much better then. And
Yeah.
I think maybe it was because it was year 2 or maybe because he had a chance to know us a little bit. I don't know, but he was much better there. But
Golly.
Yeah.
speaking
But
of
he
Jeremy
did not-
Pruitt, he's
he
in
did
Cincinnati
not
right
wanna
now.
deal
Yes, he
with
is.
University of Tennessee answering the bell, so to speak. up in Cincinnati today. So
Yeah, we talked a lot about that with Chris Lowe, the NCAA, I guess, hearings. Is that how we describe them? The hearings, which is why I think Donde Plowman is not going to be here, right?
right.
Danny White as well.
And Danny White's
Danny
not gonna
White,
be here.
yeah, he was originally supposed to be here.
So Adam Sparks,
busy.
who covers the
Kind of busy.
covers Tennessee sports for the Knoxville News Sentinel, tweeted this morning. You can't make this up. Just as Jeremy Pruitt and Tennessee NCAA hearing began, the conference across the hall was playing Danger Zone loudly on its sound system. That conference is about coaching excellence.
Oh, my gosh.
Fitting.
The irony. See? The Matrix.
It just works. It just works.
Live in
that
the
way.
Matrix.
Like, Tennessee fan will tell you it works for Tennessee for sure, like stuff like that.
Works against us, too. But, yeah.
That's
what's your
going on.
thought? So this is what we said on Monday. We were talking about what kind of show cause Jeremy Pruitt might get. You know, that Chris Lowe said, if you missed it on Monday, you can go listen to it on the podcast, but basically said he felt like Tennessee had done enough, to show their ability to punish themselves, you know,
Right.
and they already took away scholarships 2 years
Fired
ago
everybody.
and took away scholarships last year. They fired everybody. They have looked into how things are done, right? So they've done a lot. And then we got to the show cause talk of Jeremy Pruitt because I said, when is Jeremy Pruitt on Alabama's staff, basically? Like, how long is it going to take? So then we were thinking about Donnie Tyndall, who is still, in fact, under his show cause, isn't he? Because we had him on
Yeah.
last year, and he had 2 years left.
I love Donnie Tyndall. Full disclosure, I
yeah.
talk to him all the
I
time.
know you
He's-
do. We
he's-
love him.
Good
but-
dude.
Coaching,
Good
he's
dude.
coaching down in the Panhandle of Florida, and he's winning like every game.
Right.
Gotta,
But still under
recruiting up here,
a
too.
show cause, yeah.
Still under the show cause.
So, what's fair? What do you think?
Well,
what would
let me just say, I believe that the NCAA is dumb.
okay?
And you can go play
Well, yes.
John's call about things being done dumb and add that to it
Yeah,
because it's just
and that is
ridiculous.
so dumb.
It's ridiculous to think about Tennessee. Like, Tennessee self-imposed everything that you would do. Now, if you penalize Tennessee, you're only penalizing kids that, in most part, in large numbers, weren't there.
Right, and that is something that was pointed out, and the NCAA has said they don't want to be doing that anymore. They don't want to
Right.
be penalizing these kids who are at these schools that had absolutely nothing to do with that staff, with what happened, who weren't the beneficiaries of anything,
Right.
you know, none of that. And essentially, I mean, at this point, what was done is pretty much legal.
Right, yep.
Now with NIL, it's completely changed the face of everything. So how do you handle it? So I'm curious what Jeremy Pruitt's show cause is going to end up being because, and Lowe said it. He was like, "Listen, there's going to be a ton of programs and coaches that will want to hire that guy because he is a defensive mind.
You know who?
Because he's a brilliant defensive
Yeah, I
mind.
tell
No
people all the
question.
time, like, if you saw Jeremy Pruitt standing over there talking to people, you would be like, okay, that guy coaches Pulaski High School or something, you know, whatever. And you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's about right. Like, he's just a ball coach. Like,
Yeah.
he's just a football coach with that Southern draw and all that stuff. Like, yeah, he's going to be on Alabama staff, and he's going to help him because he's a great defensive mind.
You know who else will be keeping a close eye on this? How it unfolds? LSU. I think LSU should be keeping a close eye on this. Will Wade should be keeping a close eye on this because, like, he ain't out of the eye of the storm yet either now. So
Although he did get a job.
where? What was it? Kennesaw State or something?
It's like McNeese State.
Like
maybe?
it's somewhere. Yeah. Like, so like whatever comes down on Pruitt comes down on Will Wade should be like times 3. Will Wade spitting them people's face in the NCAA.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the only pushback.
McNeese State is where he is.
McNeese
Yeah.
State. So
That's what I said.
that's interesting. Yeah, good job, Yor.
I know. I was confirming it.
Just giving you props. She's not serious all the time.
No, she just laughs at you when you're
That's
serious.
what I'm saying.
She's
She's
serious
just-
when
yeah,
I'm laughing.
That's right. She's polar opposites right now. Give it to
Donnie
Douglas.
Tyndall, 3 more seasons.
Oh, he still
That's
has 3
crazy.
more? That is nuts.
Me and Babsy said 2 when we were talking to CeeLo about it
I thought it
Friday.
was
like,
2.
golly, 3 more? What, did he get a dime?
Bless it. He did get a dime.
Sheesh.
I really thought
Phrasing,
you were about to say
Davenport, phrasing. He did. He got a decade.
God, dog,
Wait, no, that's
man.
not a decade. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
decade.
Yeah.
10 years.
That's a
yep.
long time, man.
In the black, decade, 10 years. We're
Whatever.
on it today, boy.
We are
trying
on
to get
our
numbers
game.
together, y'all.
Oh, man. All right, coming up in the next segment, Todd Furman. Also, the Titans signed wide receiver Chris Moore. He had career highs in 48 with 48 receptions, 548 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Texans. 6'1", 200 pounds, 29 years old, out of Cincinnati. Drafted in the 4th round by the Ravens, ran a 4.52. That is the headline. Also, Tiger Woods undergoing surgery. We've talked about that, and we'll talk about that some more. We've got a lot going on here. Happy Twitter anniversary to me. I am 14 Twitter years old today.
Really?
How'd you know that?
They sent me a message.
Oh, that was real.
You know who made me join Twitter?
Who?
CJ2K.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, he
Said you
went.
gotta get
He
on
went
Twitter.
on one back in the day.
He went on. That was the only way you got info from him when he was holding out from the Titans. And so I was like, son of a, I have to get on this tweeter machine thing because that's the only way I'm going to know what CJ is going to do.
Gotta keep an eye on him, Babs.
Only way you're going to know what 3HL does when you come back. We'll be right back. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it is my privilege to be sitting here with Olivia. She is going through this battle right now at 10 years old. I know it has not been easy for you. You've been going through treatments and continue to. Why is it so very important for people to donate?
So we can get easier treatment options, and it will help the research of leukemia and lymphoma.
Yeah, and this is such a strong young lady, and every little bit will help. Like she said, the Dare to Dream campaign for safer treatments. This is not a disease that discriminates. It hits all ages. We've seen athletes that are dealing with that right now as we speak, but Olivia right here, she's going to win this battle, and we are here to help. So you can easily donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV. You can just also go to 1045thezone.com.
It's coming up tonight, 6:30 on TNT. That point spread is listed as
Pick 'em.
even. Yes, pick 'em.
I picked them last night.
You picked who?
They got to wait till the end of the show to know.
Oh!
Yep.
Listen to you, teasing everything.
Teaser.
Remember when I teased something the other day and you didn't know what it was
Yeah,
and you got mad at me?
Yeah, you got me on that one. Yep, that was a good one, y'all.
You know it's a good tease when you get the host.
Right?
That's right.
Lakers took game one, 128 to 112. It was closer than that, but sets up a big need win for the Grizz tonight. No question about that. The big question is, does Memphis point guard Ja Morant play tonight? He has a bruised right hand, is a game-time decision. X-rays were negative, and MRI revealed an aggravation of soft tissue bruising. He initially did it on April 7th against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And re-aggravated it in game one. 26.2 points per game, 8.1 assists per game. LeBron credited the bench. We talked about this yesterday. Hachimura with 9 of his 29 in the fourth. Austin Reeves, 5 for 5 in the fourth, scored 9 straight points en route to his 23. Man. So 52 points between those two players in that game. Does that open things up for AD? Because Memphis is going to have to change how they guard the Lakers.
That's right. I would say.
Or do they change that? Do they say, hey, do it again?
No, Memphis got to change.
Yeah.
No, because in this situation, if this is regular season, yeah, you ride through with your whatever method you're trying because you're testing for a playoff run like this. You try 5 or 6 games, get burnt aside, you can recover. This situation, nah, man, you better change it because these are pros, and these guys getting a rhythm, and that's the biggest thing to break in a playoff series is the rhythm. So Rui getting a rhythm like that. What's my guy's name?
Reeves.
Austin Reeves. He getting a rhythm like that. You got to break it. So it's going to be important for them to have something else, doubling, knowing who the shooters are, not testing to see if they're going to make the shots. Memphis got to come with it, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult because you don't have that lightning rod. Well, you may have him. I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you really think?
I'm saying no.
I don't think he goes tonight. Not
because it's a re-injure.
Yeah, and they were saying like, well, he tried to shoot. He's coming along slowly. Like I don't know.
Man, you just gave him a big old bag, y'all. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like now, this is.
What does that mean?
Big
what are
old,
you saying?
You protect the investment. You got to protect them from
yourself.
yourself.
Oh, I thought you were saying that he just got the big old bag, so he's like, meh.
Oh, no.
No,
he want to play.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with he want to play, especially being at home.
He is a competitor for sure. Desmond Bain said this about Rui. Quote, our game plan going in was make him hit his shots, and he did it. Tip your cap. It's probably the best game he's had in his career. It's a 7-game series. Let's see if he can do it again on Wednesday.
Who said that?
Wow.
Desmond Bain.
Challenge.
That's
a challenge right there.
Let me tell you something about that now.
That's Billboard.
That's
him
saying,
Babsy.
That's him getting asked about Rui and him saying, that was one night.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
That was a fluke.
So I'm going to give you another example to that, why you don't do that. In the Denver game, Denver versus Minnesota, Jokic was playing against Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, 2 7-footers.
Yeah.
And they asked him after the game, hey, man, how you feel about those guys trying to guard you one-on-one? And he said, they did a great job, man. They're going to keep trying to come at it. I know they may send a double, this, that, and other. Politically correct because, Babsy, of what you just said, you don't want to give bulletin board material.
That is
Man,
like.
what? That's my alarm clock.
I would have that written on my arm
all day long.
If that were about me.
It's a 7-game series. Let's see if he can do it again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
that's like I'm just challenging you.
Man.
I'm walking in your house and saying, hey,
if
your girl's pretty.
Yeah. What you going to do about it?
Right?
Let's say Hachimura hits his first 3. Would you not open up on Desmond Bain right there?
Immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately. I'm at your neck. And you better be able to bounce back because I'm going to be asking you, can you do what you did? Because you didn't show up in game 1 like you were supposed to, knowing that Ja went out. You the second leading scorer, average 21 or something like that. You better come with it. No, Rui. I'm going to show you Rui. Oh, boy, I'll be spelling my name the whole game. R-U-I, Rui. Rui. All day. Nah, ain't no way. You don't do that. Not no series. You do that in the regular season.
Going to get Todd Furman in here in just a second.
I'll do that to Todd Father, though.
I did see this today from SEC.
T-O-D-D.
From SEC Mike, 2022 yards per pass attempt from notable 2023 SEC quarterbacks. So guys that will play quarterback in the SEC this year, how did they do last year yards per pass attempt? Okay? And so for comparison's sake, A.J. Swan was on the bottom of the list at 6.43 yards per pass attempt.
But he also didn't play a full season.
He didn't, and he played well for what they do, I thought.
With a really inexperienced offensive line.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily agree with the decision to go to him, but whatever. That's not for me. Will Rogers at Mississippi State, setting records at Mississippi State. But that's everybody thinks air raid system, but it's a dink and dunk, like really West Coast says.
Move the ball.
6.52 yards per pass attempt. Devin Leary's coming over to Kentucky from NC State. 6.55. Jaden Daniels at LSU. 7.51. So all these guys kind of in the same mix. I'm going to get to the crux of this in just a second.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler, South Carolina, 7.58. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, 8.22. That's another system at Ole Miss. When you watch them last year, they loved running the football with those two running backs, right? And then Jackson Dart could fill in based off of that run game. Right. When it was he has to make throws, they struggled. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see at Ole Miss. KJ Jefferson, Arkansas, second in the conference, coming back at 8.83. Okay?
He had some receivers that could stretch the field.
Yes, he did.
And he could buy time in the pocket.
Right.
Which allows double routes. Man, you know what I mean? Like, so the receiver runs his initial route, but then he has so much time he can run another route.
Yep.
Which puts so much pressure on the defense. Number 1, Joe Milton, Tennessee. So number 2 was KJ Jefferson at 8.83 yards per attempt. Joe Milton, 11.8.
Yeah.
Way away from the rest of the conference.
That's interesting.
You know what's funny
because
about
they
that, though?
push the ball down the field, man.
He got in during blowouts. What do you do in blowouts?
Run the ball,
usually. Try to run the ball to run the clock out. They
down.
still taking shots.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough, man.
Well, plus that Orange Bowl game. And
yeah, I mean, even still, though, like,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, this is what you're going to do?
I think it's a testament. When you look at Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker, it's a testament to Josh Heupel's system.
Right.
Right? Like, nothing – to take nothing away from those guys. Like Hendon Hooker, I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick. I think Joe Milton's going to be the Anthony Richardson of next year, personally.
Yeah.
And end up in the first round, too. So, you know, he's got dudes, and now you got Nico, and you saw Nico at the spring game, which I haven't talked to you about that. What was your take on him?
My take on him was he has it. When
he just has it.
He has it.
You can just look at him and see it.
No, yeah, you can look at him and see it, and then he performs as such. Like, some of the throws he made were throws scrambling out the pocket, going over a receiver's shoulder. You can see how quick he was. He was patient. I think the thing that I took away from him, he has to get used to the speed of college. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that I can't thread the needle in this double coverage right here because that's going to be a pick. That was one thing. 2, breaking the pocket. He broke the pocket quite a bit. We don't see that with Joe Milton. We don't see that with Hendon Hooker. We look at him sometimes and say, man, won't he run right there?
Yeah.
Nico's already doing that run now instead of –
Do you know what that usually is?
Young.
That's usually one read guy. And
Yep.
once that read's not there, he's gone.
Yep.
Whereas Milton and Hooker have the ability to peruse the field
Right.
a little bit.
Now I will give him credit,
That's
man.
experience and not offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I
come.
went away. Joe Milton has a bazooka.
Which we knew.
Yeah, Nico has a laser.
Oh, wow.
Like it's a pinpoint laser. Like it's I'm some of the throws you look like, oh my gosh, this is what we got looking forward to? And he carries himself with it. So yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. Because that's what I haven't been able to see is the how he carries himself. Like, because I've never seen him in person yet.
He gives off the persona, I want to learn.
Yeah.
It's one of those, oh darn, okay, yeah. Okay, I got you. Eye contact,
Looks you
listening
in
to
the
you, soaking it
eyes.
up.
Yeah.
You can tell he's soaking it up, analyzing, and then he's going out there and trying to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the good
Some
part
people,
of it.
like we come across, especially young people, like they think they know everything.
Especially with that status.
Yeah. Speaking of, Todd Furman joins us now.
Oh, he definitely. Oh, yeah. Good transition, because he.
No,
this
but
man,
you said young people. He's not young.
He's pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. First off, I'm not a young person, as Dawn alluded to, and I don't think I know everything. I do know everything, so thank you very much. You guys should have come to understand that after years of doing this segment every week at the exact same time.
Todd Furman, longest-running guest on 3HL. That is definitely a true thing since 2010.
Wow.
Joining us. How much work are you doing on the draft, and what kind of work are you doing on the draft?
You know, honestly, I've done less and less draft work this year than probably since the season before COVID, and a lot of that has to do with some of the menu offerings that are out there. I mean, if sports books want to hang numbers and they're willing to take an actual bet on some of these draft props and markets, then I'm more than willing to do the homework, put the time in, and be able to reap the benefits, because it truly is an information game above all else. But what we've seen in the state of Nevada, and it's not quite true across the rest of the country, is most of these books are sick and tired of hanging numbers, knowing that the sharp bettors are significantly going to outweigh the recreational bettors in both the information they have access to, the size of their bets, and everything else, and they've kind of thrown their hands in the air and gone, you know what, the hell with it, we're not even going to book this particular market anymore.
So when Adam Schefter says, like, don't be so sure that quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3, 4, do people that are hanging bets on the draft react to that?
The recreational public does, but if you're waiting for Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, Dane Brugler, or Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, et cetera, all the big NFL insiders to give you insight and that you're going to be able to beat a sports book to their number, then you're already chasing uphill. The key is to try and get that information ahead of time before it becomes what I would call mainstream knowledge, and that's where you're able to extract a little bit of value. And the perfect illustration, guys, is a market that I know I'm going to lose in advance, but was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Back in November, I had a feeling that Anthony Richardson, despite some of his numbers that didn't exactly wow anybody, was going to be an absolute combine warrior. We know the NFL is extremely intrigued by upside, potential, and some of those measurables since they can teach everything else. So what do? I get ahead of it. I take Anthony Richardson at 150-1 to be the first pick in the draft, knowing that the odds on CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are not going to move nearly as much. End up rounding out my portfolio with a little bit of CJ Stroud at 6-1. Figure that Bryce Young's size is going to be what keeps him from being the top overall pick. Unfortunately, I gambled incorrectly, so I'll take a small loss on the number 1 pick, barring something that we don't see happening over the next 8 days unfolding.
Interesting.
At Todd Furman, Bet the Board podcast. Grizz and Lakers coming up tonight. Pick 'em. Todd, what do you think about this series? What did you learn from Game 1? What do you expect to be different or similar tonight?
What we learned from Game 1 is that if you don't defend secondary scorers like Austin Reeve and Rui Hachimura, you're not going to win a lot of basketball games in the postseason. And I think that's a big reason we've seen this number move a ton, with Memphis closing a 5.5 point favorite for Game 1, number now down to a pick 'em. And while all signs point to Ja Morant being questionable, I guess would be the loose definition, the betting market says that they don't really believe Ja will be out there with this number moving as much as it has. Clearly, Memphis misses the contributions of a Brandon Clark up front along with Steven Adams, and we talked about having some of those bigs that they were going to need to contend with the Lakers. That being said, I'm not ready to buy stock in the Lakers at the top of the market. People talking about them being the front runners in the Western Conference because we've seen the Suns struggle and we forget about the Denver Nuggets. This is a game where I think Memphis is going to empty the tank, and if the Grizzlies have anything, they go out there and get the win. But maybe wait, watch the first quarter, and see if you can identify a live betting opportunity, because typically teams that lose Game 1 at home have been an automatic bet-on team in Game 2, hoping that they don't go down 0-2 in the best-of-7 series.
I agree with you, Todd, all the way to the point of they should really just listen to me. You don't have to watch the first quarter. It's not going to be a team outside of a team without a superstar to go out there and win a Game 2, regardless of what the crowd brings. I just can't see it happening, man. You got to have a star. You saw that with the Clippers. You got to have one star to be able to steal a game. I don't think they can, man. I'm going to be honest with you.
You know, the big thing, Slay, that I think you got right there is there's no reason to watch the first quarter in any of these NBA games. Nothing is won or lost in the first quarter.
Very true.
I mean, spend your time watching these hockey games until deep into the third period, flip over, watch the last 5 minutes, and sometimes you get treated to an instant classic like we got between the Golden State Warriors and Sacramento Kings on Saturday night. That's the unfortunate reality about NBA playoff basketball. You love the intensity getting ratcheted up, but a lot of these games aren't close, especially in the early rounds. And I'm always amazed how many people will stay entrenched and watch these games for the better part of 2 hours, knowing there's not that much drama and intrigue until we get to the elimination type setups.
Yeah, I like that. Milwaukee and Miami. You got Giannis. What's the status of him? If he misses Game 2, then what? You know, Tyler Hero's out. That's one of the others that you were talking about. Got to be able to defend those guys. But Jimmy Butler, when you got that star, can Chris Middleton kind of, you know, even out the playing field with him?
It's always funny how we forget about Jimmy Butler. When we talk about the NBA playoffs, the Eastern Conference, and specifically the Miami Heat, and this is a guy that as soon as you don't talk about him, he reminds you why he's got that dog in him, and he really raised his level of play, especially seemingly when he goes back to his college roots where he played ball at Marquette and plays in front of those Marquette faithful in Milwaukee. But you look at this number, and I think it's fascinating because odds makers didn't know what to do with it. And they opened the Bucks as a 6.5-point favorite, which was kind of a hybrid price of being unsure if Giannis was going to be able to go. Giannis is officially listed as doubtful. Then you see that number move to 5. Earlier today, Giannis gets upgraded, and we're now back to where the market should have been in that 8.5 range. And while this will be a little bit counterintuitive for those folks that don't watch the betting markets like I do on a day-to-day basis, I would have been much more inclined, Slay, to bet the Bucks without Giannis and lay 5 than I would be to bet Giannis and the Bucks right now at -8, not knowing if he's 100%, because I'm sure you can attest to it, and we see it all the time in sports. When you're without that superstar, at least in a small sample size, whether it's a game or two, everybody else on that roster does a little bit more, and they raise their level of play. The opponent relaxes a little bit, and in sports betting, especially a best of 7, you get a discount. Now I'm being forced to pay a premium under the assumption that Giannis is 100%. The Heat aren't going to take their foot off the accelerator, and this is a game I really want no part of. Compared to yesterday, I would have been thrilled to lay 5.5 or 6.
Yeah, I jumped on it.
The other game tonight, Minnesota and the Nugs, and Denver leads 1-0. Nuggets 8.5 is what I saw. What do you think?
Yeah, hard not to think that you'll get a better effort from the Minnesota Timberwolves in this spot than what we saw in Game 1. Now, of course, I think there were 9 people outside the city of Minneapolis or Denver that watched Game 1 that tipped off at, about 11 o'clock Eastern Time for some unbeknownst reason to me, but that's a different discussion for a different day entirely. When you look at the way the Game 1 unfolded, it just looked like the Timberwolves were gassed. I mean, you lose 109-80. This day and age, unless you're playing the bad boy Pistons or the Indiana Pacers led by Ron Artest, there is no excuse to score 14 points in a quarter or muster a grand total of 80 points in a game. I think this is a little bit of a bounce back for Minnesota. They're going to be in this one for a 4-quarter fight. And while I haven't quite gotten there yet because I was hoping that the market overreacted a bit more, it's definitely Minnesota plus the points are passed.
Speaking of Minnesota, let's flip over to the NHL real quick. Minnesota trailing 1-0 and actually leading 1-0 in the series, but they are an underdog tonight. Also, another game just like that, Edmonton is the favorite. The Kings with the 1-0 series lead, the underdog tonight. Either one of those underdogs get to 2-0?
Yeah, how about our road teams performing so well through the first 8 games of the NHL postseason? A clean sweep last night with a 4-0 record and some pretty generous price tags there, and not one of those decisions was at all fluke-like as the road teams went on the road and dominated. The 2 games that you mentioned tonight, we'll see if the teams in the West can even up the series at home. A little bit more of a coin flip. Edmonton blowing multiple 2-goal leads in that third period, and then Minnesota and Dallas, just a war of attrition deep into that second overtime. When I look at Edmonton and LA, I think that was more of a fluky result than anything else, with the Kings finding a way to get the game-tying goal at a 6-on-4 and then the game-winning goal with a man advantage in overtime. Look for Edmonton to put together 3 complete periods, and I think they'll do it on the defensive end. So I actually like that game under the total a bit at 6.5 tonight. I think the Oilers can hold the Kings, maybe even pitch a shutout in this spot. The Wild and Stars, on the other hand, interesting because the Game 1 hero, Ryan Hartman, was injured. We weren't sure he was even going to be able to finish that game. Ends up being the hero, and I'm not sure he's going to be out there tonight with the Wild recalling Sammy Walker from essentially their AAA affiliate, the Iowa Wild. And I think when you look at Minnesota, though, they shouldn't be this generous an underdog. I mean, they're going to make this thing into an absolute rock fight, and while Dallas will be desperate, buyer beware here, it's Minnesota passing that one for me.
So if Boston doesn't win the Stanley Cup, who does?
My pick coming into the postseason was Edmonton.
Okay.
I think it was a team trending the right direction, and they had a lot of the characteristics that we saw from Colorado. Obviously, I don't like the fact they didn't show killer instinct in Game 1. It's something that they haven't really been able to do in recent years, but still, I won't back off of the Oilers. That's kind of my pick. And if you're looking for a little bit of a dark horse right now, I know they looked absolutely miserable in Game 1 against Tampa, but I'm still not going to write off the Toronto Maple Leafs, despite not winning a playoff series since 2004. Maybe that's exactly what they needed for a wake-up call yesterday, and we'll see them really right the ship in Game 2 and beyond.
Did Vegas lose their opener?
They did, and they basically didn't get off the bus. There was more energy and excitement in the stands for that game than what we saw from the Golden Knights. I mean, they were fortunate to be tied at zeros at the end of the first period, and were simply outclassed. I mean, Winnipeg was more physical. They played a true playoff road game that you need to this time of year. I think Vegas has some real concerns for the fact that they won the Pacific Division and finished first overall in the Western Conference. Goaltending is the biggest question that has to get answered, and you look at the way that game was trending yesterday. Laurent Brossoit gives up a horrific third goal, and it took the air out of the building a little bit that was left. I called Winnipeg as one of my upset specials in the first round, and there was nothing I saw in Game 1 to dissuade me from seeing that unfold, unfortunately.
Yep, only reason I asked you that, Todd, because I knew they had the same record as the Preds in the playoffs, and them your boys, so thanks.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. But, you guys are supposed to have the inside track in terms of what's going on there in the front office, what that contract extension situation will look like for John Hines. I'm optimistic that Barry Trotz will get them built back. I just don't think the Preds go from missing the playoffs this past year to suddenly being a contender next year. But clearly an organization that has done things the right way over the last couple of years, and the fact that they were able to show fight down the stretch despite a depleted roster that looked more like the Milwaukee Admirals is a credit to what they have going on in that locker room.
Yeah, no question. At Todd Furman on Twitter, Bet the Board Podcast. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, guys.
I love it. There's a lot of people that cover that team, the Nashville Predators, so well, and they work so hard at it. And then Babs break stories. That's what I like. At 3HL1045 on Twitter. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about a crime hero out of Chicago. You're going to hear this next. 3HL1045 this song. Nissan Stadium, the Nissan Stadium. West Side.
West Side.
Club level. I always think my mic is soft compared to y'all's. Anyway.
You sound good over
You're
there.
soft.
Kirby said because I'm screaming. I am soft, I guess. Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, Kelly Harper, all in attendance. All will address the Tennessee fan base. Dawn just went outside to get her water out of her car, and she addressed the Tennessee fan base because they haven't opened the doors yet. So they're all standing out there.
They're all in line, ready to go.
Yeah, and you walk out of your car, you were going to get your water, and you have
Yes.
a Preds Yeti.
I have a Preds Yeti. I have
you
white
took some
jeans
heat.
on with a blue shirt.
Yeah.
I freaking love this fan base. So they're like, Babs, what are you doing? Where are your Vols colors? What is that cup you have? Where's your Tennessee cup?
You're not repping.
You're a communist.
Communist.
That's right, Babsy.
I'm like, I freaking love this
They're
fan
fired
base
up.
so much.
Hey, listen, they're about to come right up that escalator and sit right here and then give you crap is what's going to happen. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. I see some media, illustrious members of the national media. I saw Mike Horgan sitting over there. I see Corey Curtis standing right here.
Look at that.
You get the big wigs
Your
out,
former
baby.
colleague.
Curtis.
And I was so excited that you were coming to work with me at the Zone, and then Corey was like,
Not going to happen.
I forget what he called you now.
An angry chihuahua.
Angry Chihuahua. I was like, I've never seen that side of her.
Have you now?
Every day. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So check out this crime story here before we go Tennessee all the time next hour. A Chicago man was arrested. Okay, that's not the story that happens.
That sounds fun.
For robbing the same store 11 times in 5 months.
Wow.
My
Couldn't
man.
get creative?
Dude, branch out, bro. What is he like, on foot? Is that what it is? Like this store is close to the house, so it's just easy?
So you know my problem with that? Neither one of them, the store owner, neither him nor him found out how to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can go 11 times and rob the same store over and over,
Right.
I'm gonna look at it like
Something's wrong.
Yeah, like y'all deserve it.
Yeah, he got
Don't
caught.
hurt nobody,
He
but
got caught finally.
yeah, come on, man. This is a trial and error run, dog.
This is Dante Elbert is his name. He's 36 years old.
What kind of store?
It was I looked it up because they said it's the 3200 block of North Clark Street.
Sound like a place with ifs and fifths, but what's up?
I think it's up by Wrigley, right? So I pulled it up on the map. You know what store it is?
What?
Target.
Oh.
He robbed Target
come
11
on.
times in 5 months before he got caught. He was going for 12, man.
Now, can I give him? I'll give
Perfect
him this.
dozen.
You can get everything at Target.
Show can.
No, that's
I
true.
mean, so the
So you
first
probably
time,
do need 11
yeah.
trips.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's some Targets you can get liquor at.
It's very true.
I mean,
Very true.
like
You know when
so,
he gets
okay.
out, he's going to go for the perfect dozen, man. He's
Dang,
got
that's
to.
tough.
Man,
like- 11
yeah.
in the Target.
Yeah.
Perhaps you should up
I
your
think.
security, Tarjay.
That's my thing.
Well, so when I worked in retail, they told us, like, if you see somebody take something, if they get out of the store, do not chase them.
Oh yeah, well,
For
come
your
on.
own safety.
And he probably knows that. Dante was like, oh yeah, they ain't gonna chase me. I just gotta make it to the door.
They'll leave me alone.
Right,
I'm
so
outta
the
here.
cops got him a block away this time.
Oh, see, it wasn't them.
So it took 11 times for them to be like, hey, man, Dante Elbert's back in the store. We need to watch this guy.
Somebody get Tay,
Have
man.
the cops outside.
Tay out here
Comes
again.
Dante.
Here
God.
come Dante.
I would, that's a great point, Babs. I want to know what he stole each
Yeah. I
of
do
the 11
too.
times.
Like, was it different every 11?
He needs to write a short story on The Athletic or
Short
whatever.
story. You'll have some time.
No, the Players Tribune.
Because my man's playing.
It definitely is.
Oh, man. 11 times in 5 months.
Just for the record,
Shout out.
we do not condone
No, not at all.
burglary.
No, but we do
Leave the
condone
people alone.
comedy, and that's pure comedy.
Most of it.
Yeah, so there you go. Dante Elbert robbed Target 11 times in 5 months.
Bless his heart.
On North
I'll
Clark
tell
Street
you.
in Chicago. All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up. The Tennessee coaches will be here. We'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it is my privilege to be sitting here with Olivia. She is going through this battle right now at 10 years old. I know it has not been easy for you. You've been going through treatments and continue to. Why is it so very important for people to donate?
So we can get easier treatment options, and it will help the research of leukemia and lymphoma.
Yeah, and this is such a strong young lady, and every little bit will help. Like she said, the Dare to Dream campaign for safer treatments. This is not a disease that discriminates. It hits all ages. We've seen athletes that are dealing with that right now as we speak. But Olivia right here, she's going to win this battle, and we are here to help. So you can easily donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV. You can just also go to 1045thezone.com.
West Side Club level is where we are, and Tennessee fans are entering the building.
They're in the building. They're in the building.
The doors are now opened at 5 o'clock. There is a contingent of the Nashville and Knoxville media that is awaiting the arrival of the coaches. We've been told that we get Josh Heupel before everybody does, so
aren't we lucky?
Stay tuned for that. We don't know when he will be here, but he will be here, and he will be on as soon as he gets here. Josh Heupel first. Then we've got Rick Barnes and Kelly Harper this hour. So looking forward to it. I've got Don Davenport over here wearing no orange.
Oh, nice intro. Hey, you know what? I don't give a damn about my reputation. There you go.
Well, I only said that because you made a big deal about it when you went to your car and all the Tennessee fans gave you crap for not having any orange on. But you do have, like,
Sure
glittery, bedazzled shoes that are phenomenal.
Oh, yes. Hey, I just got a text. Coaches are about 15 minutes away.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
That goes right into our break schedule.
Yes,
you wanna
I
show
do.
the-
Oh, yeah. So these are my present from my kiddos for Mother's Day. I got an early Mother's Day present.
He's zooming in.
Birds
so.
zoomed in
yeah.
on him. Good job.
How
You
long
guys-
can you hold this pose?
I don't know because my hammy is like yelling at me.
Oh, man. Ron Slay is next to me. I'm not going to hold his foot down.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Maybe I will.
This kind.
Oh, we got some Jordans on. There you go.
Actually feels good.
No, it doesn't.
No, it felt good. I need to stretch.
Maybe for you. Yeah, we all need a stretch.
Stretch that hammy. Stretch them hammies.
Hey. Here, you should just take both of our feet right here.
Yeah.
Just do
What
the
kind of
whole
shot?
show
Figure it out,
like
What
that.
kind of shot was
Figure it out, y'all.
You know what this is?
Take a picture of this.
Get that left side up higher, y'all. Left side up higher. There you go.
We
That's
are channeling our inner lady
Boss.
cheerleaders.
That's right.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, the cheerleaders are here and the dance team is here. That
Yep.
means it's serious here in Nashville, Big Orange Caravan. I've been to a lot of these. I know a lot of the people that are going to be here have been to a lot of these as well, and it's going to be a fun day.
Yes.
Let's see. We've got
So-
Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, and Kelly Harper. Yes, what you got?
Yes. In that order, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So I was just going to say before, because, you know, Coach Heupel isn't going to want to talk about this, you know, stuff that I'm about to bring up.
Oh,
but ESPN released their FPI,
Okay.
right? Football person, what do they call it? Football person.
Power index.
Power index, yes. Which uses that whole formula to calculate projections for the next season, and then it goes through like 20,000 simulations and blah, 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 right? So the FPI, the power index from ESPN, has the Tennessee Vols finishing second in the SEC East, number 12, and FPI of 15.2, a predicted record of 8-4.
8-4. I will go over 8-4.
Definitely going over.
Which obviously Georgia number 1 in the East there.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I feel good about where, and I think Josh Heupel does too, about where Tennessee is now in terms of in year 3 depth compared to
Right.
when he first got there and then last year and all of those things. There are a bunch of questions that need to be answered, no question about that. But I also like the fact that Joe Milton is at quarterback. And we used to talk about last year how before the season started, we wanted blowouts so we could see Joe Milton go in there and just hammer people with deep throws and like injure his
Just
own
gun
receivers
it.
and hit the popcorn guy in the
In the Jumbotron.
section G and yeah, but he wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
He was a more polished quarterback, and you look at what happened in the bowl game for Josh Milton, for Joe Milton, 19 to 28, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think you start there, and I think you feel pretty good about where Tennessee is.
Yeah, and then this is the place that you want to be. You want to be at that spot where everyone's cheering for a blowout because you've recruited so well. You want to see who the backup is.
So
and what
now
he
it's
can do.
Nico.
Exactly.
So now you
Who don't
want
want
the
to see
same
him
thing because you want to see him, yeah.
Yep, and then you also you want to be able to get different reps for backup linemen and other people that may be able to get into the slot and things of that nature. So you want everybody to be able to get experiences, and there is no experience like game experience. So you got to carry that over. I'm all with it. And I'm sure the fans are too. I bet they go over 8. What you think, Babs? Think they go over 8 wins?
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, the
Ball
model
Nation.
also gives Tennessee a 0% chance to finish undefeated.
0%.
Well, Georgia has to do that, right?
So you're saying there's not a chance?
No, but
I don't think nobody
a
finishing undefeated this year in the SEC.
that's a good point. A 0.2% chance to win the national title, a 2.5% chance to make it into the college football playoff.
That is high.
How do you think Heupel will react to me if I bring up this nonsense to him?
You know,
I don't even think it's worth bringing up to him personally. Like,
I just want one time for Hype to be like, don't give me that crap.
I don't care about that.
You might get it. You might get it. This
I mean, this is a laid back atmosphere. He might or maybe I'll go over on that. How's that?
A couple of Titans things for you. The Titans have signed wide receiver Chris Moore. We put that on Twitter, and a lot of y'all were like, "Who?"
Right.
He actually did have career highs in receptions, yards last year. 48 receptions, 548 yards for the Texans. The reason why y'all don't know is because he played for the Texans and y'all weren't paying attention to them unless they played the Titans. 2 touchdowns, 6'1", 200 pounds, 29 years old, out of Cincinnati. When he came, University of Cincinnati. 4.52 40 in the combine. So that is out there. Also, Ian Rappaport this morning wrote this. Source: the 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick quarterback Trey Lance. The conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making them, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. The question, obviously, do you think the Titans have inquired? I would say yes. Why not? At least look into Trey Lance, right? Like, what's it going to cost?
Yeah, you got to. If you get an opportunity.
If you're contemplating jumping up to 3 to get a rookie quarterback, then you probably would investigate and kick the tires on that. Yeah. Especially considering Rand Carthon came from there.
I'm like,
kicking all the tires.
You got the guy that knows exactly what's going on there.
Right, so he either knows.
So you might not be kicking the tires.
Right, because he might know.
Right.
But Rand Carthon was on that staff when he was drafted.
He's the one that did it. Yeah, so woo.
Yep.
Like DuckTales.
Woo.
Yep. And then I heard Blaine and Mickey talking about a story that was out there that the Titans have reportedly contacted the Packers about Aaron Rodgers in case it doesn't work with the Jets.
Do y'all think that's going to work? It's been stalling for a minute now, man.
It's got to happen by the draft.
It's because of the Packers.
It's because of the Packers, yeah.
They want pick 13.
Ooh, that's tough.
Man, what would you – that's hard. Because Rodgers is about to be – like, that guy doesn't
He got a year. He got a year. And if the year don't start good, who knows, he might check out.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's tough to give up too much for him because that's such a short-term thing.
Yep.
And maybe it's not, but you have to look at it that way. Like, I'm a big-picture guy. That's not a big-picture move.
Right. Right, especially with the pieces that you have that he would be walking into.
No, and that guy has talked about, you know, when he's going to, if he's going to come back or not, or what. I mean, you're going all in for a year.
What if they keep stalling? Green Bay stalls him out, and do they move up to go get a quarterback? Because they got pieces already, just missing a quarterback.
Maybe.
Who was it? Zach Wilson?
Yep.
Yeah, Go get Will Levis.
Do you remember Zach Wilson, though, early on? And we were like, if he just had an offensive line, like he's a legit quarterback in this league.
Well, he's got an arm.
How quickly things change, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's definitely true.
That's one thing with the NFL. It doesn't take long to get exposed.
Right.
And that tape get out, it don't take long.
Saw on ESPN this morning as I was getting my workout, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young has canceled his remaining pre-draft visits. So he is good to go with the people that he has met with. Quick quote about Bryce Young from Kentucky offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. His instincts are off the charts. Quote, he's like Steph Curry with a football, end quote.
Wait, he's talking about
Bryce
Will
Young.
Levis?
No, Bryce Young.
I can see that.
Okay, because he coached Levis.
I know.
Okay.
Kentucky offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, quote, his instincts are off the charts, talking about Bryce Young. He's like Steph Curry with a football.
I believe that.
Why is he talking about Bryce Young?
I guess he was asked about him. I don't know.
And you know who the guy is.
I'm so confused.
You know who the guy is. He can't talk about his.
Yeah,
what are you going to tell you about Will Levis? Man, you got to see how his muscles pop when he drinks his coffee.
He's got big thighs.
When he drinks his mayo coffee.
Because he ain't really give you nothing on the field last year, so I ain't going to point that out.
All right, let's do this in advance of the –
2 years ago, though. He was his OC 2
years
ago when he was successful.
Yep, that's right. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Let the Tennessee coaches get here. And when we come back, we'll visit with Josh Heupel, Tennessee football coach at the Big Orange Caravan, live at Nissan Stadium, 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine Bishop and Mickey.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I have a special friend with me now. Olivia, you are battling this as we speak, and I know that treatments, they're not easy, right? And Dare to Dream, that's a campaign that is pushing for safer treatments for younger people just like you. How old are you?
10.
10 years old, and it's not easy going through this. Can you talk about what it's been like?
It's been just really hard with all the needles, treatment, medicine, all that.
Yeah, and this is something that you are going to win. You're going to win this battle, but we need all the help we can get to get the education out there. Our Dare to Dream campaign for, again, safer use in some of the things that are being done with the treatment. So Olivia, we always appreciate your time and we are proud of you. You are going to continue this fight and you can always donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV, or you can just visit the Zone's website at 1045thezone.com.
Caravan. Are there any Tennessee fans in the house?
Now, come on now. See that?
Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, they in the
West Side
building,
Club
baby.
level.
They're in the building. They are in the building.
Was that good enough for you?
It was solid. I mean, that wasn't really Vol Nation stepping up to the mic like I know Vol Nation step up to the mic, but I mean, it's.
Well, we're in the back right corner of the room.
Okay.
Our speakers are over here with us.
Well, you want me to get this together for you then?
Well, I think we'll have somebody that'll get it together.
Let me
for us.
hold on real quick.
Hi, Coach. That's better, right? See, look, that was perfect.
See, that's what I'm talking
timing.
about. It sounded a little better right there, man. It sounded like Vol Nation is in the building.
Vol Nation is in the building, and the coaches are in the building as well. And coming up this hour, Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, Kelly Harper. And speaking of Coach Heupel at the table now. Is your mic working? We know.
Mic check 1 2 1
There
2.
you go,
Nice.
right there, live on air. What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing great. Good to be in Mid-State, man.
Tell us about spring ball. What did you learn about your team? And I'm curious, like, how different year 3 was compared to year 1 when you got
A whole lot different
Yeah.
than a year ago too. Really mature group. You know, they came out and they competed extremely hard every single day. It was a lot more physical during the course of spring ball than we've been able to have. One, that's the development of the guys. Two, it's the depth of the roster. A ton of competition really at every spot. Wide receiver, we got a little bit nicked up during the middle portion of it. But all in all, really good work, man. Love the days that we had on the grass with these guys.
Do you feel like you're there depth-wise?
No.
Or do you? No. Okay.
Whoa,
Can you ever be?
Like,
no.
will you ever feel
No.
that way?
I think the further you get into it,
Yeah.
a little bit. But, you know, the influx of the 18 young guys that were mid-year enrollees helped us a bunch as we push forward. You know, we're still not quite at 85, but, you know, the athleticism, the length, the physical size, we continue to mature, and it just lets you continue to get better work as you go against each other.
I love being able to watch the coaches interact with the players and their coaching guys, but how much is it fun to sit back and watch these guys coach each other? You know, because we talk about foundations being laid, culture and all of that, but you really get to see it when guys start coaching each other.
Yeah, you come out to the practice field, and sometimes as a coach, man, it's hard to to get in there,
Exactly,
which is awesome. You're like, all right, you got them, you know, and I think that's when, you know, championship seasons happen because it comes from within that locker room. The locker room's different, and they care about the success of the guys around them. They're knowledgeable enough to actually be invested in that process. There's a sense of accountability that comes from within, man, and you know, that's one of the things that's just steadily changed. You know, off the field, they're still 18-22. I'm going to knock on some wood when I say it, but man, we haven't had, you know, no issues off the field. We get to go compete every day and enjoy that, and it's a fun group.
We always talk about like culture, and I know it's overused, but it's super important for guys to set that. And I know we're talking about the guys there now, but a Hendon Hooker, you know, how big was he in helping to set that? And what do you think about, you know, upcoming draft and what's going to happen with him?
Yeah, for sure. As you start your program, you better have somebody that helps change the dynamic from in the locker room. He's one of those guys. Our program's not where it's at if it's not for Hendon Hooker, and I say that because of, you know, who he was individually, how he helped change the culture inside of the locker room, accountable, love and respect each other, build trust. You know, his sense of work, you know, before he came in the building, who he was on the practice field every day, what he did afterwards, man, that all trickles down and infiltrates your locker room, and obviously a huge part of the success on the field. I'm excited for what's coming up for next week for him, but the future just in general, no matter when and where. It doesn't matter. I know he's going to be successful, but obviously feel like he's continuing to push up those draft boards.
He really is an amazing story. And if you go back a couple of years, he doesn't win the starting job, and now he's in position to be a first-round pick. And guys like me are saying, I think he's going to be the best out of the 5. I'd take him at 11. Just an incredible journey.
Yep, constant growth. Doesn't care about yesterday. He's focused on today. How do I continue to improve? Relentless in his energy and effort and willingness to grow. you know, how purposeful he is every day in the meeting room, but on the grass too, like a plan of how I'm going to improve. Fundamentally, just so dramatically different from his base all the way to his delivery. You know, consistent with his eyes and a dynamic playmaker, man.
So some of the questions that surround him, and this kind of speaks to your offense as a whole, is, okay, well, he's a product of Heupel's system. You know, kind of talk us through that and how fair or unfair that is.
Yeah, I mean, our splits are different than a lot of people inside of college football. I'd love to not get any questions about our offense from GMs and coaches and trying to take some of it. You know what I mean? But
well, to your point, real quick, 70 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah. Those two guys in your first 2 years.
But inside the landscape of what we do, I think, you know, 15 years ago, tempo offense, it was really vanilla and bland. But, like, the amount that we put on our quarterback, he is a decision maker in everything that we're doing, every single play. Run checks, pass run, loaded box, alerts, kills for NFL verbiage. He controls the whole thing, man. He'll be ready to go play.
The funny thing about that is, like, when you say this quarterback is a product of this system, that means you could take any quarterback and put them in there and plug them.
And that's not
you
true.
can't do that.
That's a great point.
That's
a great point.
Exactly. So
what did you see from Josh Heupel, Tennessee football coach, from Nico this spring? What did you see some growth from him? What do you have there?
Yeah, I think, you know, first thing you see is his humility, his groundedness in the way that he approached coming into the building, how much it cares to him. He wants to be great. He understands that there's a process to that. He's willing to invest in it every day in the meeting room, on the grass. Once we got on the field with him, his ability to handle a positive play, his ability to handle a negative one, and bounce back from it. His worst day was followed by one of his best days. Like, that's a hard thing to do. I wasn't able to do that all the time when I was 18 years old. So he's got all the raw tools, physical skill set that we thought. He understands, feels his body extremely well. When you talk to him about changing something, he's able to incorporate that into his game. If he doesn't right away, he can feel it. He's got a tremendous ceiling, as talented and as good a work ethic as any young guy I've been around.
Coach, Coach Heupel. Now I know you're a veteran of this, the boom boom room, and I love.
I thought we were already in it.
No.
Okay.
That was a vanilla, questions we get out the way. We go in the boom boom room. We said the coach label, and we just go hype train.
Okay.
So if you still cool, we're coming into the boom boom room.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Come on now. Come on. Smiley, take him into the boom boom room.
Yes. One man on his way into the boom boom room.
I'm a regular in the boom boom.
He is, man. He handled himself well. I got his room up there. We had somebody come clean it up because we knew he was coming through. He left it nice and tidy, though, because he got discipline about himself. But the boom boom room, man, Coach Heupel's going in. It's brought to you by Low T Center. We're going to get straight to it. First question, Coach Heupel. Coming off the orange and white game, you had a great atmosphere there. Yeah. The university put on a great event. Forget the game. I'm talking about all VFLs from all walks of life, all sports under one roof. You got Coach Doug Dickey there. You got Don DeVoe there. You got everybody there. Now you got 3 guys you got to pick.
Oh.
You got 3 guys you got to pick. All the VFLs, I'm talking about this waiting from the 70s all the way up to now. You got people coming through that played for you. You got people that played before you. The tradition is there. You got 3 people. You need a coach, you need an AD, and you need a player to start your team. See, you just said, I thought we was in the boom boom room. Now we're in the boom boom room, hype train.
No,
Who you starting with?
Alive or not, doesn't matter.
It don't matter. Yeah, all VFLs under one roof.
Okay, well, you got to start with General Nealon, right? That's real.
I like it.
We did last year during training camp. We did a history lesson once every 4 days with the team. It was pretty cool, man.
That's dope.
I learned a lot. You know what I mean? That was my my summer reading right there.
So that's your coach?
Yeah.
Okay, Coach Neal.
Okay, if you're gonna go defense.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Reggie White. Come on, man.
The minister. You got Eric Berry back.
I know. Right.
Okay, I'm just throwing them out there.
You're asking him to pick
I'm
one.
I'm just throwing names out there for Coach. Okay.
Reggie White, man.
Big clue.
Yeah.
Can you teach that to one of your guys, Tyler Barron or somebody?
Boy, we'd like to, man.
Coach Gardner, get on it, Coach G. I'm telling you right now.
That's right.
Okay, you got your defensive guy. offense.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
Oh, I know. This
Yeah,
is the boom boom room.
Wide receiver you think about all the wideouts during the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Great tight ends.
Yeah.
Quarterback play.
Oh, yeah. You got some backs back there. You got,
How about Jamal Lewis?
Oh,
yeah.
4'2",
Love him.
250 running the
Boy, I
4'2".
wouldn't want
The
to
biggest
tackle
shoulder
that.
pads that ever lived.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, man, I like that right there. Okay, Hype Train, now you got to give me an AD. You got to give me an AD. Somebody got to run the show. You got to give me an AD right there. You got it ain't got to be somebody that was an AD. You could move somebody into that
I'd
spot.
pick myself.
Okay, that's good.
Who you want?
I'm going to take the best that I've ever heard of and known, Danny White.
He going to get it
Come
going.
on, man.
He's giving him 2 jobs.
He going to get it going. He going to get it going. I like that. I like that, Hype. All right, so this is one thing. You got to pick. This right here, and I'm going to let you out of the boom boom room.
That's fast, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know they ain't going to let us have
schedule.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think we got to knock on the door.
No, you go
Want me
first.
to go? Okay.
I'll
All
finish
right.
off the boom
Okay,
boom
so
room.
no, you can't finish off the boom boom
Oh,
room. Come
sorry.
on in and ask your question.
Oh, okay. All right, Coach.
We got-
I know you're going to roll
This is
your eyes.
Babsy. This ain't Don Davenport. This is Babsy. When you come in the boom boom room, you got to have a nickname or you can't get in. Babsy.
I know you're going to roll your eyes at me, but ESPN released their power index numbers, right? And their prediction for Tennessee football in the fall, 8-4 with a 2.5% chance of making it to the college football playoff.
Okay.
Over or under, Coach?
Man, I don't believe in any of the preseason stuff.
Yeah.
We're not planning on losing, so you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, you don't work this hard to do that.
Yeah.
So let's go line them up and play them.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Yoro, which is short for Yoro's in the boom boom room. You got a question for Coach Hype? Because I think we got somebody. We get security to get him out of here if you want me to get him out of here.
No, I'm just curious what you would do if you weren't a football coach. Like, what would that path have been?
Hey.
Man, I have no idea, man. I got my degree in
That was
marketing. Like,
But like
just
you're sitting there,
ah.
you're sitting there in 7th grade. I'm gonna be a
man.
quarterback.
I was. I thought I was going to be in the NBA in 7th grade, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, John Morant's out tonight. Maybe he can make it to Memphis.
The lefty.
There's no
Sophomore
backup.
year, I realized, man, I better go towards football. Well,
This might be done.
You start realizing there ain't a lot of 6'2" guys in the NBA, you know.
All right, last one. I'm going to let you out of the boom boom room. When you watched what went on at the Combine, did you tell Joe Milton, now don't come in here after you watch Will Levis and Anthony Richardson throw the ball and hit the lights or the ceiling of the complex. Don't come in and put a hole in our complex. Don't you throw that through the ceiling, because I know you got Joe Bazooka. I know you can put it through there. That's not what we're working on. Did you have to tell Joe that? Because don't show out.
Nah, he did that the first day that he was on campus just to prove a little point. We've all seen that.
Yeah.
We bought extra insurance just to make sure none of the equipment's busted.
I like it. So guess what? You handled yourself well in the boom boom room. Make sure you grab the keys off the door and just, we'll clean up after yourself.
Lock it on the way out.
There it is. Hype train. Let them out the boom boom room, Smiley.
Well. Looks like you did good in the boom boom room. Hoo-wah.
There he is. He's Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel, and now he's going to meet with the media. He's going to sign some autographs and kiss some babies, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sign some babies.
How about this? We're not here to lose.
I told you he'd give us.
Come
I
on,
told you
man.
he'd say something to that.
See, sometimes you got to put them in the right situation. Boom boom room, you kick your feet up.
Get away
Smiley,
with it there.
Yeah.
Smiley, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this on air. You need to go back and get that quote, because we need to tweet that quote out. That was something else.
We saw Bill standing at the window of the boom boom room, but we ain't let him in, so it was cool. He
Bill
had to ask
Martin,
everything.
the sports information
New
director at
Papa,
Tennessee.
fresh Papa Bill
Yeah, that's
Martin.
right.
Cutest little baby. By the way, that baby has had quite some success in Tennessee fandom now.
That's right.
Right?
No question about that.
Born before the football season last year, enjoyed a nice basketball run.
But it's amazing to think about, like, to your question about his system, okay?
Right.
And Slade's right. Like, the whole, like, if you talk to people around the league, they'll tell you exactly what Slade just told you. You're insinuating that you could just plug and play any quarterback because it's a system thing.
Right.
Which is not true, right? Like, so Hendon Hooker was right for that system. And as he said, yeah, we have wide splits and some things that we do that are different than other people, but we put a lot on our quarterback
to
make those reads and to make those decisions. And so Joe Milton proved that as well in the bowl game, in the Orange Bowl, 19 to 28, 251, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But to Don's point, his system has worked. In 2 years, those two guys have combined for 70 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I mean, think about that.
That's a lot.
That is absolutely incredible. So
it is not dink and dunk.
No.
You're pushing the ball down the field.
Protecting the football is impressive, too.
And not only that, protecting the quarterback because they sit in the pocket. Like, a lot of times we were asking, like, hey, man, this man look flat-footed sitting in the pocket. Why don't he move? Like, no, they trust it. They trust the guys around them, trust the system. Yeah.
Yep. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break a little bit early, and then we'll work on getting Rick Barnes and Kelly Harper in here. 3HL broadcasting live from the Big Orange Caravan at Nissan Stadium on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I have a special friend with me now, Olivia. You are battling this as we speak, and I know that treatments, they're not easy, right? And Dare to Dream, that's a campaign that is pushing for safer treatments for younger people just like you. How old are you?
10.
10 years old, and it's not easy going through this. Can you talk about what it's been like?
It's been just really hard with all the, needles, treatment, medicine, all that.
Yeah, and this is something that you are going to win. You're going to win this battle, but we need all the help we can get to get the education out there. Our Dare to Dream campaign for, again, safer use in some of the things that are being done with the treatment. So, Olivia, we always appreciate your time, and we are proud of you. You are going to continue this fight, and you can always donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV, or you can just visit the Zone's website at 1045thezone.com.
Band. Any Tennessee fans in the house? Lady Vol basketball coach Kelly Harper is in the house. She is right here at the table with us. That's brave of you. How are you?
I know, right? I'm great, thanks.
It's good to see you in person, man. What's happening?
Oh, just it is not the world that we used to live in, right? When the season ends, we are busier than normal. So we're recruiting, we're doing workouts, we got a lot going on.
Let me start with one transfer that we know that's coming from Nashville, Destiny Wells. Averaged 18.1 points, 4.7 assists for a very good Belmont team. Started 90 college basketball games. What do you get with her?
Well, you hit it, right? I mean, she's very experienced. She's very, very efficient. Obviously, that's we needed that position. We needed some help there, and we couldn't guard her a couple of years ago. They came over to Tennessee. They beat Oregon in the first round. They played us, and we couldn't guard her. And I tell you what, when I had an opportunity to meet her, fell in love with her. She was amazing, and I think her poise, her consistency will go along with that experience and efficiency.
We actually called her high school state game, and I was like, this girl is special, even back then. The transfer portal and just how it kind of is evolving and works. Thoughts on it?
It's
hard.
I think what we were talking about earlier, we're forced to do this, right? I mean, it's part of our world now. So the difference is the transfer portal recruiting moves in light speed. Right. And the landscape changes daily. I was talking to a coach the other day, and we all feel like we're sitting there just hitting refresh on your computer to see what's up next. Because if you're, when someone's name drops, if you're not called within the first 3 hours, a lot of times you're behind. Wow. And so it's you got to be on top of things as the info drops.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's like solving a crime. You got to get it in the first 48 hours.
Right.
You're just going to miss it. Like it might be over with.
We know all about that one.
So you had new additions. The transfer portal did help you out. You were able to get Raquel in. She's coming back. Tamari's coming back. Like you're getting your ladies back, and you're building something. Like you're on the right trajectory. Do they understand what it is when you get transfer portals in, transfers in? Do they understand what the foundation is of a Lady Vol?
Well, that's part of the process, and you have to make sure that happens. When you're recruiting a high school player, you're recruiting them honestly for years. And you're building a relationship, and it's a different what's a different relationship,
right?
And then when you're bringing a transfer, I think it's different. It's so different talking to them, right? Because the transfer portal, they don't need to see campus,
right?
They want to get to the nitty gritty. They know what's important now, and it's just a different mindset for them. So for us, we have to really do our homework a lot quicker, a lot more. You have a shorter amount of time to be just as thorough in this process.
In this process, though, I just look at, I've been in Nashville 16, 17 years now, but I look at where the university is athletically as a whole right now. You guys are rocking it. Football team is back and rocking it. Men's basketball rocking it. Now it's baseball and softball too. Like, what's it like to be a part of this university when it seems like everybody is hitting?
Well, there's so much pride in what we're doing, not just about your own program, but for everybody. We just had a student athlete big event, kind of the end of the year celebration on Monday night. And they show this very long, very well done highlight video, an all sport highlight video, and you're just reminded of how great the athletes are that you don't work with every day, right? I mean, you're just so proud of them and what they're doing, track and swimming and softball. It just, all of the sports are doing well, and you want to do your part. But I think excellence breeds excellence. You don't want to be the person or the sport to let them down, right? I mean, you got to bring it right now.
That's right.
Yeah, it has to help in recruiting too. I mean, just the national, Tennessee is where you want to go.
Well, it does, and obviously we understand the eyes on football. The eyes are on football, and we had players at the Alabama game, and it is an experience they will never forget. I hope that it helps them, get that last push to make the decision to come to Tennessee. But You know, and then I can't tell you how many times we sent out. I talked to players after that weekend. Our recruits, oh yeah, coach, I saw that. Yes, I saw that. You know, so all that positive energy that we felt in the fall on campus, you know, that's also good for recruiting.
Lady Vol basketball coach Kelly Harper with us on 3HL. You mentioned Rakia Jackson, and just watching. I know you didn't get where you want to go, but 2 straight Sweet 16s and 13-3 in the SEC. But watching her and Jordan Horston just, I mean, become dogs out there and just took over. You've got to have that in tournament play, right?
Yeah, you got to have some go-tos, and Rakia is so special. I mean, she's just so talented. She's one of them, and you got to be careful that you don't just fall in love with just sitting there watching, right? She's so effortless and so smooth. I'm really, really happy for her and how she came on, and both of them, you're right, at the end of the year, boy, we were playing some of our best basketball, really were, and hats off to both of them. Obviously, Jordan's going pro. She got drafted 9 to Seattle. I think that's a good spot for her. I'm really excited about her. Yeah, I know, right?
One thing, you want to go in the boom boom room?
Do you know what the boom boom room is? She's looking at us like,
yeah, no, I might need a little help.
I like this.
Oh, okay.
I like this.
This is Slay's thing.
Okay, look, I'm up for it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, so it don't even matter. You know, I'm taking you in there. You'll be safe.
Oh, man.
I'm like, you pull up her old highlights, she's ready for anything.
Like, I'm like,
here's the word.
I'll do stuff.
Here's the word, fearless. All right? Fearless.
You want me to be fearless?
Yes.
I got you. I'm fearless.
All right,
let's go.
All right, here we go. Let's Smiley, let's go and take her in the boom boom room.
Ah, yes. One man on his way in to the boom boom room.
Yes, the boom boom room. Coach Kelly is going into the boom boom room. Lady Vols coach, brought to you by Low T Center. We're gonna get straight to it. You got 3 people you got to pick. No, we'll give you 4 because we're gonna make you a player.
You gotta explain to her what the boom boom room is.
So the boom boom room is questions asked, and the only way you can get out, the door has been locked behind you, so you got to answer them to get out. And the only person that can unlock the door is me.
It might be a really dark room like Aaron Rodgers' room, you know?
Yeah. But don't worry. Hyper
I don't
just
have a big
left out.
decision to make. I'm good.
So this is what I need to know. National championships. It runs deep in the DNA of Lady Vols.
All right.
You got 4 other people you got to get on the court with you. Who are the 4 other Lady Vols, past or present, that you want?
That's going with me. You know,
That's
I'm a
going with
PG,
you. I know
right?
you
So I'm the
down.
point
I know
guard,
you
so
hold
I'm
me
not
down.
going to pick another point guard because I
makes
don't
sense.
need
Makes
to.
sense.
I want to keep myself on the court.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
All right,
We
let's
don't
go.
need Jody Adams, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got 3 real easily.
Okay.
Right?
Give me
Let's
those.
go. Let's go with Holtzclaw.
Boom.
Yep.
Catchings.
Okay.
Yep. Candace Parker.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, that
Holy
was
moly,
this second one, though. Ooh.
What do I need? What do you think? I need a shooter, don't I?
You gotta get somebody that can stroke it. You gotta get somebody from way downtown, consistent. Yeah, gonna get out there and grind on defense too.
Who's gonna be my shooter? Let's see.
Now you know I'm gonna be biased in this. I don't know if you're gonna help for me, but I'm always gonna pick my girl Kayla.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna pick my
Lawson.
girl. Yeah. I mean,
she played a little point, so
she
I
did
don't
play
know.
a little point. Yeah, we only got one ball.
Gotta keep myself on the court. Well, she, we may go with her because she's Olympian. She's experienced. She's kind of a dog. Let's keep her out there.
Very true. I like it. All right. The most dear to your heart championship that you won.
You know what? That honestly, that is really hard. Let me tell you why. All right, so the first one's your first championship.
Yep.
You're never going to forget that one, right?
Yep.
The second one, we weren't supposed to win. We lost 10 games, and we won anyway. So that's kind of cool, too. And then the third one, we didn't lose a game.
Yes.
So it's hard. Let's go with the third one just because that was fun.
Okay.
Peaceful. You
Okay.
know,
The one that broke your heart. Fourth one?
Fourth one. Broke my heart. Duke,
Yeah.
Greensboro, and Elite 8. I still haven't finished my therapy sessions on that one yet. But, you know, it was still a little traumatizing.
I love it. You got a question for her in the boom boom room? You gonna let
No,
her out?
I'm enjoying this. Go.
Okay. So this is the last thing, Coach. Now, last second shot has to be taken. You pick 3 people: Candace, Tamika, and Shamika. Who's taking that last second shot? You're the inbounder.
Oh, I was going to say Jolly.
No, I got
you saw where I was going.
She was going to say,
you saw where I was going.
She's the inbounder. So
Slay.
you
would say
shot?
Slay.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
I had to be the inbounder.
Yeah.
Man, what we 2 or 3? We down 2 or 3?
Y'all down 2. Y'all got 2.3 seconds left.
Right now, today, probably Parker. She's still playing. She got the juice. The other ones are retired.
Isn't that amazing?
The other ones are retired.
That was good.
That was good, right? You like that?
I like that.
Trying to get me in trouble.
You better know I was gonna text Meek. Hey, Meek, I don't know
Meek,
what
hey,
you
look,
talking about.
Meek knows I ain't going against Meek. Meek knows that ain't happening.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay,
Hey,
so
real quick, what do you
got
like to
one
do outside of basketball?
We have 2 kids, and right now, basically, when I'm not doing basketball, when I'm not doing recruiting, I'm literally probably throwing football with our son or playing Barbies with our daughter. It's one of the 2 at this point. So
You're already doing ball handling skills with her, you know?
well, I mean, yeah, we don't want to sound
working
too
with
crazy.
it.
She's 4.5, but you know what?
No, that's
honestly,
not crazy.
Oh, she think that's right up her alley.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm like, you're late.
I enjoy activity. I enjoy, even if it's hitting a tennis ball, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy being active. I have 2 horses. I like to go out and see my horses, so that's probably my thing.
Coach Kelly, you made it through the boom boom room. We'll
No,
get a little,
you dominated the boom
yes,
boom
she
room.
did.
I'm
yes,
glad
she
I
did.
got out of there.
Smiley let her out of the boom boom room.
Well. Looks like you did good in the boom boom room.
There she is. She's
There
Kelly
we
Harper,
go.
Lady Vol basketball coach. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it. Good luck the off season and
Thanks for
on
having
into
me.
next year.
I appreciate it.
We'll talk soon. There she is, Kelly Harper, Lady Vol basketball coach at Kelly Harper on Twitter. 3HL presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, springhillac.com. Coming up, the after party presented by Awaken 180. Weight loss fast, yet sustainable weight loss without medications, fasting, or the gym. Reserve your Awaken 180 at-home consultation today. 3HL coming up tomorrow, Thursday edition, and we'll have Greg Cosell breaking down more draft prospects. Absolutely love it. Don Davenport, you good?
Yes.
Slay's convening.
Fun
with the
Wednesday,
people.
man.
I know, lots of orange in here. And blue.
Good fan base.
Pred's gold. I'm just giving you
I'm
a hard
a
time.
communist, I know.
I know. All right. Hey, appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate the participation. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 3HL 1045. You want us on Twitter anytime. Good night. God bless.
See ya.